It's the year 2050. You step into a sleek, minimalist clinic, bathed in soft blue light. A digital screen welcomes you, listing options not for treatments, but for enhancements. Intelligence, memory, physical endurance, immunity. Each selectable, each promising to craft a child beyond natural limits. The doctor smiles, reassuring you. This is the future of human evolution. The choice is yours. For decades, science has sought to conquer disease, to push beyond the constraints of nature. CRISPR, a technology once confined to labs, has rewritten the rules. At first, it was used to eliminate hereditary illnesses, sparing future generations from suffering. Then came cognitive enhancements, resistance to aging, the ability to shape life itself. What was once impossible is now routine. A world without genetic disease, where every child is born free of inherited flaws. Who wouldn't want that? No more Alzheimer's, no more cancer, no more suffering. It's the promise of a perfected humanity, sculpted by science. But beneath this vision of progress lies an unsettling question. If we can shape the next generation, who decides what better truly means? Perfection has never been objective. Throughout history, societies have defined desirable traits in ways that have led to discrimination, exclusion, even oppression. The 20th century saw forced sterilization programs and eugenics movements, all in pursuit of a so-called better future. Today, genetic engineering promises not coercion, but choice. Yet, choice itself is shaped by culture, economics, and access. Will these choices reflect true human betterment or reinforce existing biases? And what of those who remain unaltered? If some have access to superior intelligence, heightened endurance, or even prolonged life, will the gap between the enhanced and the natural born become insurmountable? If evolution becomes something we control, do we risk dividing humanity itself? For now, the decision is still unfolding. Scientists, ethicists, and governments debate where to draw the line. But technology moves faster than policy. And soon, the question may no longer be whether genetic enhancement is possible, but whether we can afford not to use it. So, if you stood in that clinic, staring at the options before you, what would you choose? Would you enhance your child's future, or leave nature untouched? And once that door is opened, can it ever be closed again? A world without disease. A world where no child is born with genetic disorders, where cancer and heart disease are relics of the past. Imagine a future where human suffering, as we know it, has been erased, not through medicine, but by preventing illness before it ever begins. This is not a distant dream. It is a reality within reach. For parents, the choice seems obvious. Given the power to shield their children from sickness, who wouldn't take it? A simple genetic edit could mean a lifetime free of inherited conditions, a future unburdened by pain, no more cystic fibrosis, no more sickle cell anemia, no more fear of passing down something beyond our control. But eliminating disease is just the beginning. Science doesn't stop at fixing what's broken. If we can remove genetic flaws, why not enhance what already exists? A sharper mind, a stronger body, resistance to aging itself. Each improvement another step toward the ideal human. Some envision a society where everyone has access to peak intelligence, physical endurance, and heightened creativity. No more limits of biology, only potential waiting to be unlocked. Could this be the great equalizer? A world where everyone starts with the same genetic advantages, where success is no longer determined by the randomness of birth. If intelligence can be enhanced, will education become more meaningful, unlocking innovations beyond what we can imagine? If physical resilience is strengthened, will humans push beyond their limits, reshaping industries, sports, even space exploration? But perfection is not universal. The traits we value today are shaped by culture, by history, by economics. What happens when those definitions shift? Will certain enhancements become status symbols, dividing those who can afford them from those who cannot? And if the ideal human is engineered, what does that mean? For the unmodified, for those born outside this new era of perfection, genetic engineering holds the promise of a better world. But progress is never without consequence. The line between cure and enhancement is thin. And as we take control of evolution itself, we must ask, are we creating a more equal society, or drawing new lines that will divide us? In the beginning, genetic engineering was a gift, a tool, to free humanity from disease, to level the playing field. But progress is never neutral. What starts as an advantage soon becomes an expectation. And what happens to those who can't, or won't, enhance? At first, the divide is subtle. A few families, wealthier and more willing to experiment, opt for intelligence boosts, enhanced physical strength, heightened immune systems. Their children excel, outperforming their peers in school, In athletics, in creativity, universities take notice, employers take notice, and suddenly natural-born humans, once the default, are at a disadvantage. Over time, the difference becomes impossible to ignore. Enhanced individuals fill the ranks of the best universities, the top jobs, the most prestigious fields. The world reshapes itself around them. And for those without modifications, the question becomes unavoidable. How do you compete with someone designed to be better? It's not just about intellect or talent. It's about opportunity. If enhancements are costly, access is limited. The wealthy pass down not just their resources, but their superior genetics. A new class system begins to emerge, not based on birthright or effort, but on biology itself. And as the gap widens, a silent tension builds. Some argue that this is no different from any other technological revolution, that just as education and medicine once belonged only to the privileged, genetic engineering will eventually become accessible to all. But history offers a warning. Technology may advance, but inequality often remains. Will enhancements truly uplift everyone? Or will they cement divisions we can never undo? And what of those who refuse? Religious groups, ethical objectors, people who simply believe in the value of unmodified humanity. Will they be seen as stubborn, as outdated, as lesser? If the world moves forward without them, will they be left behind? The line between progress and exclusion has never been easy to define. But if genetic engineering creates a new elite, a new superior class, then the question is no longer whether we should enhance. It's whether, in a world where others already have, we can afford not to. The world has always been divided by wealth, by access, by opportunity. But now the divide is deeper, written into the very fabric of our DNA. For those enhanced, life is a series of doors that open effortlessly. For those unmodified, the doors begin to close. At first, the separation is unspoken, a quiet shift in expectations. Schools, once designed for all, now cater to the enhanced, their curriculum accelerating to match the capabilities of genetically optimized minds. Workplaces prioritize efficiency, strength, innovation, qualities that enhancements guarantee. The natural-born struggle to keep pace, and soon, they are seen not just as different, but as lesser. Some try to resist. Governments debate restrictions. Ethics committees call for caution. Social movements demand equal footing. But technology is difficult to contain. Black markets emerge, offering genetic modifications to those who were left behind. Some take the risk. The division is no longer just genetic, it is ideological. On one side, those who believe in progress, who see enhancement as the next step in human evolution. On the other, those who refuse to let technology dictate the worth of a person. The conflict simmers beneath the surface, a quiet tension that grows with each passing year. And then a breaking point. Perhaps a law is passed, restricting unenhanced individuals from certain professions. Perhaps an unmodified leader rises, calling for rebellion. Perhaps an enhancement goes wrong, a side effect no one predicted. Whatever the spark, the fire is inevitable. If history has taught us anything, it is that the pursuit of perfection is never without consequence. And as humanity stands on the edge of its next great transformation, one question remains: will this be the moment we ascend together, or the moment we fracture beyond repair? The future arrives quietly at first, a series of small, almost imperceptible shifts. A new generation, sharper, stronger, seemingly limitless. Societies adjust, economies reshape, and the world begins to divide, not by geography, but by biology. Some embrace the change, seeing it as the next chapter in human evolution. Others resist, unwilling to let genetic code determine destiny. But the question remains, is there still room for both? The divide deepens, but history has always been shaped by those who refuse to be left behind. Some nations ban genetic modification, creating enclaves of unenhanced humanity. Others push forward without restraint, creating a world where nature is no longer the author of human potential. Conflicts emerge, not just in policy but in identity. What does it mean to be human when humanity itself is rewritten? The struggle is not just external. Even among the enhanced, perfection proves elusive. The pressure to optimize never ends. Intelligence, strength, creativity. Each generation must be better than the last. The pursuit of an ideal self becomes an expectation, not a choice. In a world where limits have been erased, where does it stop? Yet perhaps there is another path, one that does not demand division, but adaptation. A future where enhancement is not a privilege or a curse, but a tool like fire, electricity, or the internet. A future where modification is not forced nor feared, but understood. A future where progress is not a race, but a choice. And so the question lingers. Are we on the verge of a utopia, where suffering and limitation are relics of the past, or are we creating a world where the very essence of humanity is at stake? The answer will not be written, nor in law, but in the choices we make, the values we uphold, and the future we dare to imagine. This video has come to an end, but the discovery continues. Check out more content on the channel and subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Thank you for watching.